England's King Henry VIII had 6 wives. People who know that bit of history trivia think they know Henry. Usually he's pictured all puffy and jolly, but what people forget is that he didn't start out that way. Given the rate of infant mortality in the 16th century, it's a wonder anybody, royal or not, survived to adulthood. Adulthood itself wasn't exactly a long, slow glide into the land of get off my lawn either, since, on average, you were probably going to shuffle off this mortal coil before you even hit 40. Henry, however, got the brass ring, born royal and healthy. He's usually described in his youth as handsome and athletic. He managed to rule England for some 38 years before wine, women, pork, and physical activity took their toll. Biographies attribute the turning point in his deteriorating health to a leg injury he suffered while jousting. His horse crushed him, leaving him unconscious for 2 hours and eventually far less active than he used to be. His appetite led him to consume 5,000 calories daily, much of it consisting of meat and red wine. His circulation was terrible, especially in the legs, which deteriorated into 2 weeping varicose ham hocks. He would later end up having to be carried around in a chair, and instead of hunting down deer, he would have them herded towards him so he could muster a shot.
Henry VIII is the only king whose shape you remember.
As Henry's weight increased, his health kept declining, and nothing seemed to help. Not even the most up-to-date medical procedures, like bloodletting in conjunction with the phases of the moon, helped. Hey, it's not like they didn't try. Then came January 27, 1547, his day of reckoning. Everyone knew he was dying, but no one was willing to say the words out loud. It was considered treasonous to predict the death of a king. Nevertheless, it was clear the king was nearing death, and so Sir Anthony Denny had the unenviable task of suggesting that Henry might want to examine his royal conscience and make his peace with God. Henry spent time with his confessor and received Holy Communion.
Finally, it's pointed out to him that he might want to think about his impending end.
Henry proclaimed that he believed that Christ in all his mercy would pardon him for his many sins, but even he acknowledged that there was a lot of sin in his past. After all, wives and royal advisors weren't the only people Henry had executed during his reign. Some historians suggest that as many as 72,000 people died under Henry's order during his nearly 40 years on the throne. Despite his rather large death toll, the evidence suggests that England's King Henry VIII did believe in God. Before they had their famous falling out, the Pope had declared Henry defender of the faith for the monarch's writings in opposition to Martin Luther. It should come as no surprise, then, that the afterlife took up much of Henry's waning attention as he slowly slipped from this life to eternal life. The chronicles from the time spun his final moments as befitting a king. But bear in mind, there were also examinations of Henry's sputum and stools going on, hopefully in a different room. As England's most powerful people hovered nearby, perhaps hoping to get name-checked in his yet-to-be-finalized will, Henry was overcome with weakness from which he'd never recover. Assistants buzzed around him, applying various potions and poultices. Tapestries were drawn across windows to keep out the elements, and a fire was constantly burning to keep evil vapors at bay. Eventually, Henry began to drift off for the last time. At least one scholar attributes Henry's one-way ticket to the afterlife to renal and liver failure. It was a slow slide, brought on by his unhealthy lifestyle, and not a pretty one. His last words were to summon Archbishop Thomas Cranmer to his bedside, but Henry was unconscious by the time the churchman arrived. Cranmer asked the king for a sign that he still believed Christ would save him, and Henry is said to have squeezed the archbishop's hand in response. 2 hours later, in the wee hours of January 28th, Henry breathed his last. He was 55. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more grunge videos about historical figures are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.